Welcome back to another quick VGC guide. Thanks a ton for the support on the last video and pointing out some of the errors that I made. I really appreciate it. Once again, this video will have timestamps for your convenience, so just skip to whatever you need help with. Now, before we get into the new, I want to review some of the mistakes that I actually made in the last video. Firstly, EV distribution. While it is true that you gain 1 stat point per every 4 EVs that you gain, there are some scenarios where the math literally doesn't work out and you actually won't gain the stats off of an EV increase. There's an incredibly detailed comment on my previous video if you want to decipher it and read the math on it and see how it works, so thanks to them for that info. Secondly, the Life Orb and Assault Vest multipliers were incorrect. Life Orb actually gives you a 1.3 times attack boost, and the Assault Vest increases your special defense by 1.5. Lastly, one thing I forgot to mention in regards to terrestrialization. When you terrestrialize into another type, you become that typing defensively while gaining that typing stab or same type attack bonus. If you terrestrialize into a type that matches one of your previous typings, your stab increases from 1.5 to 2 times. Keep that in mind when choosing your Terra type. Making a team in Scarlet and Violet can be a little intimidating, but I promise it's a lot more simple than it looks. As I said in my last video, a Pokemon stat should determine whether or not they're of any use to you. However, there are some niches you can come up with that can catch your opponent off guard, so don't let stats completely determine who you should choose. A Pokemon's move pool and abilities are also very important when choosing who to raise for a team, so make sure you check both of those before investing EVs and using bottle caps. I didn't explain it fully last time, so allow me to explain what cores are. These are usually a pair of Pokemon that when put together can lead to a near unbeatable composition. Some examples being Annihilate and Maushold, Indeedee Armarouge, Torkoal Oranguru, and Dondozo Tatsugiri. These combinations of Pokemon all complement each other in a way that not only solidifies them as threats individually, but makes them even more dangerous when put together. Of course, there's no guarantee you'll see all these cores at once, but finding a common weakness in popular Pokemon stats and typings can lead you towards making a team that beats anything you run into. With all that gone over, let's go into the details of what makes battling so complex. What makes battling in VGC so complex is the amount of different aspects that exist in battle. The first and most important thing to note is turn order, which is determined by your Pokemon's speed stat. Whichever Pokemon has the higher speed stat goes first, and this usually leads to that Pokemon being rather unstoppable in most cases. I say most because a Pokemon's speed can be trumped by priority. There are certain moves and abilities that allow Pokemon to go first in turn order regardless of their speed stat. I'll show a table of priority tiers on screen right now so you can see what these moves and abilities are like. Some popular moves that have very high priority are Protect, Fake Out, Rage Powder, and Wide Guard. Some abilities that grant priority like Prankster and Gale Wing provide priority for certain moves only. RNG plays a major part in VGC battling, from how often a move will hit to how much damage the move will do. This is why when calculating a move's damage output, the damage is displayed as a range rather than a set number. However, for simplicity, you can just call these rolls. When talking about RNG on move accuracy, this can be determined by the actual number listed on the move itself. All moves' accuracy are scaled out of 100, meaning the closer you are to 100, the more often the move will hit, supposedly. There are also different field effects that can affect the battle too. Terrains usually provide a buff for their respective typing as well as a benefit for the Pokemon that are considered grounded in battle. By grounded, I mean Pokemon that are not flying types, have the ability to levitate, or are holding an air balloon. Weather effects are useful in that they boost the power of certain moves and even cause moves like Solar Beam to be used in one turn. There are 4 weather conditions in total and they all have their own respective effects, bonuses, and debuffs. The best part about weather is that you can use them as well as terrains without overriding one or the other. Only weather can change weather and only terrain can affect terrain. It'd be crazy to tell you to memorize everything here, so just keep in mind what's getting buffed and what isn't. Plus, if you need a reminder, there's links in the description that can help. Weather conditions can be set with Pokemon abilities as well as these moves on screen here. Personally, I'd say it's better to set the weather with an ability, but others might find more utility out of using the move. Lastly, let's go over speed control. As I said earlier, speed determines who's going first, and oftentimes the Pokemon that's first to go is too strong to stop. It's even worse if you don't have any priority or some other way of stopping them from dominating the whole game. That's where moves like Tailwind and Trick Room come in. Tailwind doubles the speed of your entire team for 4 turns, and Trick Room flips the turn order, meaning that the slowest Pokemon goes first. Of course, there's also moves that change the order of when a Pokemon gets to act too, so you have tons of ways to control who's going and in what order. Making a good moveset all depends on what role that Pokemon's supposed to fill. Are they an attacker? Are they a supporter? Maybe a little bit of both? What are their stats like and what moves do they get? How does it cover itself and others? For this example, let's make a moveset for Arcanine. This Pokemon is a rather unique case because it's very bulky and has great offensive capabilities, specially and physically. On top of all that, it's even got great speed. An all-around solid Pokemon. The moves on this Pokemon are even more outstanding, so much so that choosing becomes a bit difficult. Which is why I made 3 of these builds for him. I ran him past my buddy Sammy TV for some advice, so you all should check him out. link in the description. But these are only examples. Your Arcanine might be completely different depending on what team you want to make. That goes for all Pokemon too. Checking what moves a Pokemon can learn is key to making an effective moveset and ultimately an effective team. Speaking of, I think it's about time we get into what makes a good one. A good team is well-rounded typing-wise and has a clear goal that it wants to achieve. Being able to identify what your team wants will not only help you determine what Pokemon to pick, but also what teams to look out for. Since you can only bring 4 out of your 6 Pokemon, think of building your team as pairs. Which 2 mons can you send out and how can they complement each other? How do they work together? You should also consider what Terra types your Pokemon should have and how that Terra type will help your team secure a victory. Now, I can't tell you exactly what kind of team to make, but I did make this rain team that includes one of the Arcanines I built earlier. Feel free to try it out and see how it goes. And if this team doesn't interest you, there's plenty of rental teams on Victory Road VGC that you can try out too. Link in the description. Ultimately, your team is up to you. Experimenting with damage calcs and on Showdown is easy enough too, so don't be afraid to do a little testing and see if your ideas work before bringing them into the real game. Once again, I'm hoping that both of these videos helped you on your VGC journey. If you found this video helpful, I suggest leaving a like and sharing this video with others who want to get into VGC. If I missed anything, made a mistake, or if there's something you need more clarification on, please drop a comment below and we can discuss a little further. I might even make another video, sort of a Q&A about VGC, so comment away. By the way, I stream a ton here on YouTube, so turn the notifications on if you haven't already, and drop a sub so you don't miss out on the streams. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video or when I'm streaming next.